Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to Etruria. I do hope you're all doing very well and having a lovely day. So, welcome to the second day of October. We've got plenty to crack on with today. We've got a little bit of field work to do. What I do plan on doing with that is we need to do a bit of liming. We've got 5 fields that need liming, 2 of them being the grass fields that are growing away again after the first cut, but their pH value does need sorting out, so we can get that done today. And that's going to mean leasing a lime spreader because we don't have one on the farm. So yeah. That's going to be something up and coming, and of course we need to make a start on the cultivation as well, because we've got 3 empty fields at the minute that need cultivating. If I jump into the field menu here, there we are, where are we? Growth-wise, yeah, so we've got field 6 here, right by the farm, we've got field 43, and we've got field 49. Now, all of these need the Dondi 800 throwing in there and sorting out, but we're not going to get all of those done. 49 is obviously quite a big field, but I need to make a start on it. Obviously, we're in October. We can't do any more drilling until April next year. That's when we can start drilling the sorghum, which is going to be going towards our pig food. So I've got a little bit of time ahead of me, which is great to sort that out. But in today's episode, what I do want to do is we're going to get ourselves some pigs. We've got almost everything we need to feed the pigs. Obviously, those of you who've been keeping up with the series know that I've got a gigantic quantity of sugar beets over here in the shed now, north of 700,000, or was it 800,000 litres I think I've got in here. I can't actually tell, and I haven't consulted my notes from the last episode, but yeah, it's if I remember correctly, it's something in the region of about 700,000 or 800,000 litres, which is just ridiculous. But getting this quantity of sugar beets off the field, I mean, look at this. It's crazy, isn't it? I'm going to take a gamble with this, and I'm going to hope, fingers crossed, touch wood, that I've got enough sugar beets here to last the rest of the year, at least, for feeding the pigs. I know in reality you wouldn't keep such a vast quantity of sugar beets like this for one purpose, because they'd all go rotten, I'm sure, at some point after X amount of time. But unfortunately, well, I say for my sake, fortunately, the game doesn't provide those kind of mechanics, so I can just leave them there, and they are going to be I'm going to be dipping into them as often as need be to keep the pigs that we haven't yet got fed with their portion of sugar beets. So, because that's the root crop side of their food. So yeah, I'm going to take a gamble on that, and when I say I'm going to take a gamble on that, it means I'm not going to drill any more root crops this year. And what that does mean, it frees up another field to act as a cash crop. That's the plan I've got in mind. So, as for what that crop's going to be, I don't know. Obviously, like I say, we can't. There's nothing worth drilling now until early next year, until April next year. So I can make that decision in the future. So, but it's having that sheer quantity of sugar beet there has just altered the plans moving forward a bit in a good way. I hope. Fingers crossed. As I say, touch wood. But yeah, we do have most of the things that we need to feed the pigs when we buy them in a few minutes' time. We've got a little bit of canola in the silo. We've got some wheat, and of course we've got the sugar beets. Now, again, those of you who have been following the series know that the plan has always been, initially, that I was going to simulate buying in a few trailers worth of the sorghum that we need for their base food. And when we do run out of canola, because we've only got just over 14,000 litres over there in the silo, when we do run out of that, buying in a couple of trailers worth of canola as well, in order to just to keep them topped up, because we do have our own field of canola that is drilled. We did that a few episodes ago, and we do have a field of barley planted as well. So we're on our way to having our own supply of pig food. Obviously, like I say, we've got the canola, we've got the barley. I'll be planting the sorghum in April, and we've got all of the sugar beets over there in the shed. So that's, you know, moving forward, I feel I've got a plan moving forward to keep on top of everything that the pigs need. So yeah, so it frees up a field in that respect that I'll be able to sort out another cash crop, which is great. But one thing that I did, obviously, in the last episode, I placed down this little multi-fruit buy point from Omatana, and it is a wonderfully versatile mod. It's really, really cool. And talking about the concept of buying in a trailer load of product to feed the pigs, it had been on my mind. You know, it's like, right, well, if I buy in an entire trailer's worth from somewhere, or just manually fill it in using easy development controls, and then take the money out of my bank account for that product based on what the product is currently being bought for from other sell points on the map, that was going to be the plan. But then obviously I've put this down. The main reason for this was for lime, really, because lime's a pain in the neck, if you ask me, and it's one of those things it's got to be done, but it's just a bit of a pain in the neck. And this thing does, in my opinion, of course, this thing does offer a discount. So, and I've used it over on my Saxlingham series as well, and it's really, really cool. For example, when you use the Bredel K165 with a lime spreader that has a capacity of just under 19,000 litres, buying in lime base game costs somewhere in the region, I think it's just south of £5,000, dollars, euros, whatever. Whereas this, you can buy it in at 1,705, I think, for the entire spreader's worth. So it offers a lovely discount. But what it also does mean, I can buy in everything else I need, such as the sorghum or the corn for the base food for the pigs temporarily, and anything else I might need. But it also means, and I hadn't thought about this, I've got my Armour Salmon beet chopper here, which also doubles up as our bucket on the farm. I don't have to turn it on. It can hold all the other products as well, so I could just buy the products in bucket at a time. And it was just one of these oversights that I hadn't actually thought of. So that's going to make things really easy, and because of its placement here on the farm, just there, it means I can just fill up a bucket of sorghum or whatever, whip it round here to the pig feed trough mixer, whatever you want to call it there, and sort them out. So that's all good. But what another oversight on my part, fail, whatever, is straw. We've got plenty of straw up above us there in the pallet and bale storage system. And I have dropped a bale in here because I was just fiddling around with the on here yesterday, planning what I'm going to be doing today. And I need a straw blower. I don't have one. So I had just super strength one in there because I just needed to see how it worked and whatnot. Obviously, because the sheep here in front of us there, they take from the bale directly here in front of the fence. But the pigs don't take straw bales directly in front of the fence here. They do. You have to blow it in with a straw blower. So I need to get myself a straw blower. So that's going to involve a bit of expenditure. Now, to counteract that expenditure, I have made an executive decision. I'm going to be selling this thing, the Armour Salmon TR2000. There's nothing wrong with it. It's one of those things. It's worth just under 40,000 euros at the minute. And the particular straw blower that I'm going to buy in, it's a lovely little thing. I'll show you now in the shop if we go and have a look. Where are we? Scroll down a bit. It's just a nice little compact thing that goes on the back of your tractor. So where are we? Animals, straw blowers. This thing, Euromark TX27HD. Lovely little thing. It's only 21,000 euros, and it does take 2 bales. It doesn't require a lot of power. It's just a nice little compact thing that I can stick on the back of the tractor and utilise to sort out the straw for the pigs. So that's the plan. So I'm going to sell that and buy that straw blower, and jobs are good. So we're going to have to take a bit of a trip down to the shop at some point soon. But first and foremost, we're going to wander around here, and I'm going to buy in 75 pigs. That's the idea. So let's get these gates open. Now the animal trigger is just there. We're going to go for some German landrace. We're going to buy them in at 3 months old. So 525 euros is what they cost for one. And of course, the idea with pigs, of course, is fatten them up and profit from them in the fullness of time. Now, I think, if I'm correct in saying, I think we're looking at somewhere in the region of about 24 to 27 months, I think, is when you look to sell them, perhaps, for the best profit. So obviously keeping a log of the cost of each one at 525 euros. We'll see where they're up to value wise in 20, 24, 27 months or so, and go from there. But please do let me know. Like I said, because I've very rarely done pigs. This is the second time that I'm doing pigs on my series here on YouTube. I'm doing them over on Saxlingham, and I'm doing them over on here, and they're both kind of running back to back at the same time, aren't they? So I'm still learning as it happens with pigs. So we'll buy these in 42,375 euros. Brilliant. Hey up, pigs. Awesome stuff. There we are. Welcome to the farm, little ones. Right, but now we've got them, we need to feed them and get them sorted. So, and obviously in the fullness of time as well, we're going to be getting some slurry from the pigs, which is great, which also means I'm going to need to, and some manure as well, so I'm going to need to, at some point, invest or lease some kind of slurry tank, perhaps, because I do need to also consider the fertilising of our grass fields. Obviously, the grass is still growing away. When we're drilling our fields, of course, we can, we fertilise as we drill, but when it comes to the grass fields that just kind of grow and regrow, they need some fertiliser. So there's a possibility that I'm going to need to lease a fertiliser spreader. Right, so anyway, we need to go get ourselves into our silo here. Firstly, we're going to fill up with a bit of the canola. Like I say, we've only got about 14,000 litres of canola in here. Right, there we are. Start filling. We can do the wheat as well, but I'll go for the canola for 14,264. There we go. So I have altered the capacity of this Armour Salmon bucket as well. By default, I think it's about 2,850 litres, but I've given it a capacity of 6,000 just because it's just the way I like to play. I like to be able to shift a decent amount of food at one time. So yeah, get this around here. Slow down, slow down. There we go. And then we need to jump out of here and open up the lid. Awesome. There we are. Let's get that up overhead there. I think I will jump out of cab mode for here just to give myself a fighting chance of not missing. Nice. So let me just have a look once all this is in and gauge the capacity of the pig food. So where are we? Pigs. Okay, so 6,000 litres, that's one bucket load there. Now I know from back on Saxlingham, they don't, even though pigs do consume everything, they don't seem to go through it all very, very quickly. So I'm just trying to think. If I go for 2 buckets of each product, I think for now that should be a decent amount, I think, to see us through. And doing that will almost completely empty us of the canola that we've got in the silo there, but that's fine because that's what it's for. It's for feeding the pigs. We're not keeping it for any sentimental reasons, are we? It's got a purpose. So I shall dither around here for a few minutes, get all this lot fed for the first time, and then we'll need to go down to the shop. Have I missed the trigger there? There we are. Yeah, we're going to go down to the shop. We're going to take that Armour Salmon, we're going to sell it, and then we're going to come back with a lime spreader and lime all of our fields. So I'll get this done and I'll pick you up very soon. Right, there we go. First load of pig feed done. Didn't take too long, literally only took a few minutes. And already, if we jump into the pig menu, their health is at 3%. I think I've gauged the numbers relatively well. Obviously, they're not completely full, but 12,000 litres of each product, I think, roughly sat about right. So, all good. They've already started producing slurry, and they've already started producing manure. We just need to top them up with one more bale's worth of straw. So we'll get that done. So yeah, but one thing I did do, because it doesn't matter which base food you feed them, whether you feed, or it doesn't matter which of the multitude of products that you can give to pigs, they count towards the same part of their food, regardless of what you give them. So what I did do, just for a bit of a test, was I bought in a bucket of sorghum from the buy point there, and that cost €1,290. I then bought in a bucket of corn, and it cost 1,139. So it is actually fractionally cheaper for now anyway, when I'm going to be buying stuff in, to feed them corn. Only not by much, don't get me wrong, but every little helps and all that, doesn't it? So yeah, right, anyway, pig's done. So now we need to we're going to get ourselves hooked up to the Armour Salmon. We're going to take this down to the shop. We'll sell it because obviously you get a bit more money for your machinery when you sell things at the shop. And then we're going to purchase that straw blower, come back, fill up the pigs with the straw. We'll load up, obviously we have to load up the straw blower with the telehandler there, and a bale. Where are we? There we go. So right, I've just realised as well that this thing needs a bit of fuel, because we're going to be utilising this tractor today. We're going to be leasing the K165 Bredel lime spreader, which is quite big. So yeah, I think this is the better tractor for the job. It's got more weight behind it. It's got a bigger frame, and I think it's just a better thing for the job. Yeah, so we're going to be spreading lime in all of our empty fields. Now I know obviously this field is riddled with weeds. We need to we'll probably do that one first when it comes to the cultivating, but yeah, we're going to throw lime in there as it is anyway for now. Just get it done. I prefer doing lime first, and then if I get the opportunity, and then run the cultivator over it afterwards. And in my mind it just seems to make sense that we're kind of turning the soil over with and putting the lime deeper into the soil. I don't know if that makes any sense in the real world, of course. It's just how I prefer to do it. If I can, of course. Right. We're going to squeeze through here with this thing. So it is quite wide. Consider, you know, based on these lanes. There we go. Successful. Right. See you down at the shop in a moment or two's time. Right. Okay. Here we are. Almost at the dealership. Now, I have just encountered a little bit of a problem, but I found a temporary fix on this map anyway for now. Now, I am playing the game now, running the latest update. I think what we on patch? What we on 1.11? Is it now? So let me just drop that there. And it's an issue that I recognised while I was recording the last episode. This does take a few seconds to disconnect. There we go. Right, so let's turn the engine off here. And it's an issue with the dealership here. Since the update, I can't open any doors. The expectancy was to come down here and get... You see how when I walk up to the door there, you see the top left? The info box comes up, but the message to open the door, and I'm pressing the button, doesn't do anything. So I can't... I just... Bringing this down here to sell it at the dealership, the trigger... If I turn the triggers on, just so you can see what I'm talking about. The trigger's there. And I can't get in. We've got the workshop there, and we've got the workshop here as well. So, but I have found a fix. Obviously, this is a PC-only map at the minute, so enable flight mode and just ram yourself in there like that. And that works. I can't get out again. The door's there. But I can access the management point here. And so, let's have a look. Repair this. We'll repair it for €15. There we go. And we can sell it. 34,989. That doesn't actually seem... If I go into the menu, go into our garage menu, of course, Ozzy's wonderful mod, go to that thing. Oh, 31,808. Yeah, okay, so we are getting a little bit more money for it there. Right, so sell that. 34,989. Brilliant. And obviously now I'm stuck in here, but I can just jump, tab out to my tractor, and that's problem solved. So, yeah, there we go. There's always a fix for everything. But yeah, there's a little bit of a bug with that one. Maybe there's... I have just checked. I couldn't see any reference to an update for the map yet. But anyway, it is what it is. Problem solved nonetheless. So, which one did I want? Euromark TX27HD. So, there's no spec options for that. It is what it is. It looks like it's going to be perfect for our round bales. There we are. €21,000. So we've actually made... from that transaction, buying and selling, somewhere in the region of about €13,000, I think, so that'll do. But yeah, perfectly suited little bit of equipment, I feel, this, on the farm. I will have to reverse into the pig barn there, because it blows off to our right there. I can't get down the other end, because the grass bales are in the way that are sitting there just constantly feeding the sheep, so... That's all good. So we'll get back to the farm now. We're going to load up with this. Load up. We only need to load up one bale. So we'll sort out the telehandler and put the bale grab on, and then we'll be taking another trip back down to the shop here. We're going to be leasing that K165 lime spreader, and we're going to be getting all 5 fields that we've got left to limed. So I'll see you back at the farm in a minute or two. Right. Let's get this bale grab fixed up. There we are. Now, frustratingly, I suppose, the way that the straw blower there needs the bale to be fed in is kind of lengthways, as opposed to it sitting on its face, which hopefully should be alright. It's not really the correct way to do it, is it? But I've got to feed the bale in that way around. They sit on their face, they come out that way, as it were. There we go. But yeah, I've had to flip it onto its end, onto its side. Don't know what you'd call it. But there we go. Jobs are good and lovely stuff. And then let's just direct that blower in the right way. And then now we should just be able to reverse in. I do hope this tractor's not too tall. It's just going to be like Clarkson. Where are we? Oh, just. Look at that. Millimetre perfect, almost. And then we should get a straw trigger. Why am I not getting a straw trigger? Oh, that's annoying. I'm just not going back far enough. Oh dear. What's going on here? How am I meant to give my pig straw? If I can't... If I turn the interactive zone controls on, zone markers on. There we go. Area to provide straw. That's just... Oh, there we go. Look at that there. So I had it too high. If I aim it too high... But if I aim it just down a bit... Wow. That's actually a real testament to EdoMod there. The fact that you can aim in the wrong spot. That's brilliant, actually. I'm glad I figured that one out. Getting a bit worried then. I thought I'd gone and bought something that wasn't going to work. But anyway, I always turn those off because I can't stand them, quite frankly. There we go, though. And that should bring their straw total almost full. Once it's done, I'll have a quick look. There we are. Oh, almost. There we go. Perfect. Boom. Right. Job done. Wonderful. Welcome to the farm, pigs. And you're all sorted. You're all fed. We've now got a straw blower and an extra 13 grand in the bank. That will do for me for now. There we go. So, yeah. Like I said, maybe a bit of a gamble when it comes to the sugar beets. But it's a gamble I'm prepared to take. So, there's no point having that armour salmon on the farm with 40 odd grand tied up in it, or 35 roughly, when we can put that to better use. There we go. Right. So, I'll have a bit of a tidy up here. I'll just park this telehandler back up. We'll go back to the shop, pick up the lime spreader, and I'll pick you up shortly. And we'll be cracking on with lime in the fields. Right, lime spreader leased. Here we go. Let's go get this job done. Now, please do let me know in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, if any of you have experienced a little bug. If you do play this map anyway, if anyone else has experienced that same bug with the doors on the dealership. The doors on the rest of the farm seem to work okay. On my sheds and stuff. Well, on my one shed. That's the only door I've got, I think, on the farm. But yeah, do let me know, because I know that the latest patch has produced a handful of glitches and bugs across the game, but they seem to vary across different players and what they do. I know Dinky over on Discord, hello mate, if you are watching, hope you're well. I know he had some issues in the construction menu, deleting fences and stuff, and I think a couple of other people might have had that. And I've seen glitches with the Unimogs. I think it was Martin ML Gamer, hello again mate, hope you're well, who'd had an issue with some of the vehicles not being able to drive at more than 10 miles an hour. So but I know personally I haven't had an issue with the gates and the fencing, deleting that, and I haven't had my Unimogs can go at the right speed and all that kind of stuff. So it's just one of those interesting things. So please do let me know if you have had that same issue, or whether it's something on my end that's causing me that problem. But the problem did arise immediately after the update, but it still could be a mod conflict at the end of the day. That's I suppose one of the things that happens with this game. It produces so many different mod conflicts, it's crazy. But anyway, sorted. Right, this thing's just cost me just over 4,000 euros to lease. I'm hoping I have leased it with the extension, so it's got the full big capacity of 18,950 litres. So hopefully it's not going to take me too long, and it's not going to cost me too much more money. So I'll throw this relatively sizable job now into a bit of a time lapse. We'll get this sorted, and I'll see you when the fields are limed. Done. Bosh. Job done. It's only taken me a couple of hours, and in total it has cost me 10,661 euros all in all, and that is a handful of refills of the lime tank behind me, of course. Oh, speaking of which, actually, let's get rid of that very quickly. So jump into the garage menu. Where are we? Leased items. Yep. Sorry, traffic, if they are behind me. There we go. Right, we got rid of that one. Job done. So yeah, there we go. Oh, that's cost me a little bit more now. So 10, 11, 12,200 and something, give or take a bit. That's cost, all in all. But it needed to be done. Got to be done. So, right, back to the farm now. And we need to crack on with a bit of field cultivation. We're going to make a start. We're going to go into field 6, the one next to the farm there. That's one of the pretty rough-looking fields full of weeds. The one that was the canola field, I think, at the very beginning that we harvested in the first episode. So yeah, we're going to run the cultivator in there. We're going to stick with this today because I ran the cultivator with the F140 the last time, and it does cope. It does a pretty decent job, to be fair, but I just want to see how this one fares with it as well, because it is a little bit more powerful, a bit bigger, a bit more oomph behind it. And what I will do as well, very quickly, I'm going to jump into the workshop and just equip it with its chunky tyres, because I think it'll just work a little bit better. But here's one thing I wanted to showcase to you very quickly. I'm going to jump out very quickly and just show you. I want to give a massive shout out to one of my viewers and Discord members, Gilgamoth. Hello mate, hope you're well. Look what he made for me. I've got a flag. It's absolutely brilliant. He sent this over to me yesterday, and I've also got a sign as well, which is on the other side of the farm, that I'll show you in a little bit. But how cool is that? So Gil, mate, if you are watching, thank you so much for what you did for me yesterday. Now, Gamer Gilgamoth, he's going to be starting up his own FARMERSIM YouTube channel, which is awesome. He's in the middle of putting together his first video. He did actually send it over to me yesterday to have a bit of a look at it, which was a very humbling thing, if I'm honest. But I did have a watch of it, and it is really, really cool. He's got some really cool plans moving forward. I'm not going to say what it is, or what map he's on, or anything like that. I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but I will put a link to his channel in the video description below, so we all know what to do. Go show him some of the Farming Simulator community love and support. I do want to jump in there and stick this on the big tyres, but I just wanted to show you the signpost that he made for me as well, because it's proper cool. Needless to say, I'm going to be putting these on all my farms, but how cool is that? It's proper awesome. I've got a sign and a flag with my logo on, so that proper did make my day yesterday. Right, so anyway, yeah, cheers Gil, really appreciate that, mate. Awesome stuff. So let's throw the big tyres on this. That's some ground deformation there, isn't it? So let's turn that off there. There we go, and jump into the workshop. Now, actually, there was another little pointer I needed to show you here, actually, because it's a feature that was mentioned to me in the comments of one of the last videos. Let's customise this. Wide tyres and weights. Yeah, they're the ones we want. 0 cost. Purchase for 0 money. Absolutely. There we go. But it's this bit here. I didn't appreciate that you could actually open this door. And it leads you right into the back here, and you've got like a washroom. And there's a clothes changing facility there, one of the wardrobe things. But it's just a proper cool thing. It really is. But the reason why I did want to show you this is because here is one of the collectibles. Bring up the F1 menu, but yeah, collect. How much did we get for that? Oh my goodness. Whoa, okay. 100,000 euros. Oh wow. Okay, I genuinely wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a couple of grand. 100 grand. How many collectibles are there on this map? Dum. Where are we? Where do we go for that? Statistics. There's 10. Right. Oh wow. We've just got 100 grand in the bank. Okay. Wow. That's changed things a bit, hasn't it? Wow. Okay. Right. Wasn't expecting that. I'm certainly not trying to cheat. Let me revert the FOV back to 75 for the interiors. Whenever you alter a vehicle or do anything like that, it does change things back again. Wow, okay. That was unexpected. €100,000. Well, okay, that's pretty cool. I think what we might do then, I'm just trying to think on the fly here, but I think it would be a good idea to invest that back into the farm, of course, and possibly buy another field if I can afford it. Let's just hook the Dondi up here before we go do anything else. Right, there we go. Where's the front weight gone? Oh, it's disconnected, hasn't it? Goodness me. Right, hang on a minute. It is a little bit annoying that when you do make amendments to a vehicle in the workshop, everything that's attached to it gets disconnected. But anyway, we're definitely going to need the front weight on the front of here. There we go. Right, that's better. That's better. So let's get ourselves out. And we can drive around the corner here and get to the field that we're going to be working in, field 6. And then once we're here, we'll just have a quick jump into the map and just see if there is any other local fields that might be worth a consideration to purchase. Because the other thing is, I was looking as I was doing all that liming before, jumping into our crop calendar. We can still, at the moment, drill wheat if we wanted to. Now, like I said, I've got the opportunity to take advantage of a couple of empty fields now and make a couple of cash crops. So it could be a good idea to drill some wheat purely as a cash crop. Now, wheat and barley both count towards the grain portion of the pigs. We've already got barley in the ground, so technically, if I planted some wheat, and I'm thinking of getting it in the ground now, because the sooner we get it in the ground, the sooner we can get it out the ground. That'll be July next year. Everything else is going to be a couple of months later, once we get stuff drilled in March and April next year, or March at least anyway. So yeah, I think it could be an idea, because it is only 20 to 11 in the morning, so it won't be in this episode, of course. It'll be in the next episode, but there's a possibility there. And there we go. There's all the liming that we've done. A nice sea of green. But if we just have a look now, how much is field 5 there? 317,000. Right, well, we ain't having that, are we? Field 44, 154,000. Field 47, 121. Okay, so we're not in a position right now to be able to just go and fork out and buy another field. I could buy that one, 102,000. Anyway, well, it's worth thinking of anyway. It's something I can have a bit of a look at and figure out what's going on. So what I do want to do is lower down the cultivator side of this machine as well. I do love this, the fact that it subsoils and then cultivates immediately afterwards, so it's 2 jobs in one. So drop that down. There we are. Lovely stuff. Right, get cracking with this. Well, this is going to be a big job, let's be honest, but we need to make a start in it. Get rid of all these horrible weeds and turn the soil over and get it ready to receive some seed in the near future. So let's crack on, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, all done, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Job sorted. So, the field is now completely cultivated, ready to get some seed in. But there's, as much as I love this Dondi 800, and I'm not going to do the whole trick of getting rid of it and buying something else. I don't think at the minute. But there is one thing that does drive me a bit crazy about it, and it does boil my my OCD, as it were. But when it comes to uneven ground, because it's a subsoiler first and then a cultivator after. When you run it over uneven ground, sometimes you can get the ploughed texture there, and the cultivator section doesn't quite grab, and then you've got to kind of run over it. It's the case dotted all over the field. If I jump into the PDA, look at the state of that. There's big swathes of the field here in the middle that it has ran over it, but the cultivator section hasn't. So you've got to kind of like attack it from a different angle. So yeah, it's a bit triggering. What can I say? And it's a little bit difficult to deal with, because when you drop it down in the field, say I dropped it down here and carried on with it to here, I'd lift it up here, and then the last thing that would be in the ground is the subsoiler, so it leaves a patch of ploughed section and doesn't cultivate over the top. So it is quite difficult to work with, I'll be honest. But anyway, not moaning or anything. I'm just pointing things out, because I'm sure a few of you would have seen patches throughout that cinematic there and thought, you've missed a bit, and it's like, no, I haven't missed a bit. A, Courseplay did it, and B, it's the tool itself. It's just a little bit finicky, I suppose. But anyway, there we go, job done. So we've still got a couple more fields to crack on with, but like I said earlier, the consideration to possibly plant some wheat in this last day of October, I think, is a sensible one. We can get something in the ground, and then the sooner it's in the ground, the sooner it comes out the ground, and then obviously that is going to be a cash crop. So we may well throw some wheat in here, and that is going to be more than likely something we do at the beginning of the next episode. But for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it here. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I really do hope you have enjoyed the episode and found it a little bit of fun. If you do like the idea of supporting the channel, there's a couple of ways you can do that. There is my Giants Partner promo code. If you're looking to purchase Farming Simulator 25 or any of its add-ons or DLCs, there's also coffee.com, which is something I've recently started. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, the link for that will be in the video description below. And there's also my G-Portal affiliate link if any of you are looking to purchase a multiplayer server to play with your mates. So all the links to all these will be in the video description below, and as always, any help and support there would be hugely appreciated. So, thank you very much for your time again, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.